Unmet spiritual expectations will often lead you to a place of not experiencing the fullness of what the Lord has for you. That's a good word. And it's for not just somebody this morning, I promise you, it's for everybody in this room. I'm gonna say it again. Unmet spiritual expectations will lead you to a place of not experiencing the fullness of the Lord or what he's called you to. Because here's what'll happen. We'll be in this place of spiritual expectations. And let me say, spiritual expectations is not a bad thing. In fact, it's a must. As we seek the Lord, as we go after God, we have to have expectations. We've got to know what the word says. We've got to know, we've got to believe he's gonna do what he says he's gonna do. Now you say, you just went through that and you're telling me that you've got to believe that he's gonna do what he says he's gonna do? 100%. Listen, just because we don't get to see what he called us to doesn't always mean that he's not doing it. And we have to understand that. We will pray and we will pray and we will pray and we will expect him to show us this thing over and over again. And too many times, if he doesn't, we'll back off and say, ooh, yikes. And what it does, unmet spiritual expectations will lead us to a place of disappointment. And being led to a place of disappointment will lead to what's called an inner vow. And this is what I mean about that. I prayed and prayed and prayed for Katie to be healed. When I didn't get to see it, I said, I'll never do that again. I still believed in God. Don't get me wrong. I never got to a place where I was like, hey, I'm out. We're done. You're not real. I always maintained that. I always knew it. But the whole faith, healing, all that, I was like, I'm not gonna do that again. And in too many times when we don't get to see what the Lord is doing and what we've prayed for, if we don't see it, that's exactly what we do. That hurt too much. That word that I gave, I don't feel like it got to really take root. Ooh, that was embarrassing. I'm not gonna do that again. And what these inner vows will begin to do, they'll become a place of unforgiveness in our heart. Now, stay with me here, because if you don't hear what I'm really trying to say, this will sound really theologically messed up, and that's not what I'm trying to do. But we will experience a place, and let me tell you what unforgiveness does. Unforgiveness begins to become a place in our heart where we say, this is off limits. Not just to anybody else, but to God. We'll hold on to something that didn't turn out the way we thought. We'll hold on to this place and we'll say, God, you can have every other place out here, but don't touch that because that hurt too much. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to be in a place where I have to use it again. But I think God is allowing us to go through some things so he can touch that. So back to the unforgiveness thing. How many of you know that forgiveness is not always about the thing that needs to be forgiven or that we're forgiving, but more than not, it's about the person that's needing to give forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't always about that thing, because guess what? Half the time, the thing you struggle with about forgiving, if you really get down to it, it's not their fault anyway. Unforgiveness only drags us down. And sometimes it's not even about the thing that we think needs to be forgiven. So here's the tough part, and I want you to stay with me. Sometimes we have to go back and revisit that spot and realize a place of unforgiveness with spiritual expectation, the person we're not forgiving is God, because we expected him to do this way. And when he didn't do it this way and he did it this way, we back up. And by saying, I'm never doing that again, I'm not gonna do what you call me to do again, that's actually a place where we're saying, I don't forgive you, God. You didn't do it the way I thought you were supposed to. So I'm gonna back up. We're gonna do it again.